Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of How to Get Your First Board Seat, Candid Coffee, brought to you by the Veblen Program, and I'm your host, Cameron Clark. Today, I'm joined by Imran Hussain, a passionate advocate for the creative arts and a professional with deep experience in the startup world. Imran recently secured his first 2 board seats at Theatre Deli and Stella Stories, combining his background in accounting, governance, and entrepreneurship with his personal love for writing, acting, and improv. We'll be taking a look at how he transitioned from startups into the boardroom, what motivated him to pursue governance, and the lessons he's already picked up on the way. Imran, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Cam. I hope you're well.
I'm doing well, thank you. I have my coffee.
So excellent. I'm glad to hear it. I've got my water here. I haven't got coffee quite.
Well, hopefully I have enough energy for both of us.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, so let's get into it. Your journey to the boardroom. Can you take us back to the moment when you first learned about the board opportunity at Theatre Deli?
So I signed up to the Veblen program around about a year ago, and I didn't do much with it. And I kind of left it for a while. And more recently, I decided to get back on board with it. So I started to do a lot more activity around the boardroom kind of stuff on LinkedIn. And I signed up to various emails of various places. And Theatre Deli was one of the emails that I received. And they just so happened to have a board seat going. Now, I knew Theatre Deli from my creative arts previously, and I visited their locations quite often. So I knew about the organization, knew about what they represented, and I was quite passionate about the creative industries, and Theatre Deli seemed like a really good fit for me. So I applied, and I told them my story about how my journey throughout the creative arts and my passions for the creative arts. And I got the first interview, then I passed that, and then got the second interview and with the chairperson, and passed that, and I became a board member. So it's quite easy, actually. It's easy when you think about it now, but at the time it was quite difficult at the time. But looking back, I think because I led with my passions, it became an easy sell for me.
Okay, thanks for sharing that, and you gave me a lot there, but I want to unpack some of that for our listeners. So you said you joined the Veblen program, and which is a program that helps people get board seats where they're currently are in life, right? No special corporate climbing ladder or anything like that. Where you are is where you start, and obviously that worked for you. But you said you laid it down for a year. What happened there? Did you life just take over, or?
I think what happened was life took over, and I was doing a lot of freelancing work, a lot of creative arts, and all that kind of stuff, and I had very little time to focus on the board stuff on a consistent basis. So I dabbled in it a bit here and there, and I kind of kept up a little bit here and there, but it wasn't consistent. So I didn't really have that consistency. And when you go for a board seat, you need that consistency. You need to dedicate a bit more time than I had to looking for a board seat. And more recently, I gained that time, and I decided to go 100% into it.
Okay, nice. And you said LinkedIn was your vehicle.
Yeah, LinkedIn was the main vehicle, but I also signed up to a number of emails from jobs boards and various boards that I could think of, and I signed up for all sorts of emails. And LinkedIn has been a good outreach for me. I've had a few inquiries from LinkedIn coming in, and so I'm looking at more board seats at the moment.
Okay, awesome. So everyone has access to LinkedIn. So for those of you who have yet to accomplish or achieve your board seat, LinkedIn is the way.
Exactly.
At least one of the ways. So you mentioned that you have familiarity with Theatre Deli, and you visit a lot of their places a lot. How did that play into, I guess, your interview with them? You talked about leading with passion, so I imagine your familiarity kind of bolstered that passion.
Yeah, it was really quite an easy sell because I knew the company and I had a passion for the company. I led with that passion, and I've been attending the Theatre Deli location in a leather hall for I think it's about 5 odd years, and I've been doing various courses, creative art courses there, and it was really a natural fit for me to actually work as a board member there because it was just a progression on what I've been doing there, and the passion just was there, and they fell in love with the passion, and I fell in love with the organisation, so it was a pretty good fit.
Yeah, I would say so. So would you say that having a passion for the organization that on whose board you're serving is a requirement? Is it critical, or can that be gained?
I don't think it's critical. I think having at least an interest. You could get by without having a passion, but having at least an interest in what you're going for. Because a board seat, you have to remember it's you giving up your time. Your time is valuable, and if you're going to give up your time, do it for something you're either passionate about or at least have an interest in it. Don't give up for something you've got no interest in, or you've got no sort of affiliation with. You've got no sort of identity with. Your time is valuable. That's how I see it. If I would give up my time for an organisation, I'd like to know that there's something there that I can work with. There's something there that either the team is something that I feel connected with, or the organisation and its mission. But there has to be
that completely resonates with me. I mean, personally, I could be good at something, but if I'm not passionate about it, I'm probably not going to give my best effort.
Exactly. You won't give your best shot.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so you have a startup background. Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. So I graduated university, or as you Americans call it, college, in 2000, and I went straight into a major investment bank, which an American investment bank. It was a bit boring and a bit standardized, and I didn't really like it. So I left there after about 18 months, and I started to pursue a career in startups and small businesses. And since then, I've spent 24 years within startups and small businesses, helping them with their cash flows and their P&Ls and their balance sheets, their forecasting, everything from a junior level where I started all the way up to a fractional CFO level, which is what I do now with startups. I help them raise funds and work on their cash flows and their forecast and all that kind of stuff.
Awesome. And so how did that play into, I guess, your role with Theatre Deli?
Yeah, so Theatre Deli, it had a startup vibe. It's a small organization. It's not a massive business that you can say that is everything's standardized. It's very startup based. So my experiences in the startup environment translated very easily into what the struggles they were facing on an operational level and on a strategic level. It was a very easy transition because I had 24 years experience in this area.
Awesome. So as you mentioned, you have 24 years of experience. You're a very accomplished professional. You're at the top of your game, if I do say so myself.
Thank you.
What made you take this next step into a non-executive director?
So for a while, I've been thinking about a board position. I just didn't do anything about it. And I wanted to have a portfolio career. So I wanted to continue to do fractional CFO stuff, but I also wanted to step up to board level type stuff within startup environments. I thought it was probably the right time to do it. I've been thinking about it for maybe 6 or 7 years. I didn't do anything with it until I joined the Veblen program. The opportunity came up, and I thought it was a great opportunity. And if I'm not going to bite the bullet now, I probably never will. So that's why I joined the Veblen program, and it gave me a kickstart. It gave me a kick up the backside, and I knew if I signed up to there'd be some accountability. I'd have to do something about it. And within the year, I got 2 board seats.
That's an impressive fast track. But you had a great start. I think everyone, no matter how old you are, right? Everyone needs a kick in the pants to get something done.
Yeah, exactly.
So having that accountability partner is the only way to go. But so keep coming back to this. You're passionate about the arts and theater. You are familiar with Theatre Deli. Like, tell us a little bit about your creative side and how that played into it.
So basically, in 2020, during the pandemic, as it goes, I was literally fed up with my job. I was fed up with my career. I had a full-time job in accounting as a head of finance, and I was kind of fed up. And I was looking back over my life. I was looking at all the regrets I had with my life, and I was thinking, I need to do something with my life that's different. That's on a different trajectory. And one day during the pandemic, I quit my job and I decided to do improv. So that night I went upstairs, I bought myself on an improv course. That led to acting classes, it led to clowning classes, it led to creative writing classes. And eventually for the last 5 years, I've been dabbling all these different type of creative activities and just exercising my creative muscle, which I never thought I had. I thought creativity was for marketing people and people who within the organization who have the natural ability to do that kind of stuff.
Right.
I was actually pretty good at this creative stuff, and it was a natural fit for me. So I really, and that's why I fell in love with the arts, and that's where the passion grew, and that's how it led to the Theatre Deli position.
That's really cool. I have a little bit of experience with that. I did take some improv classes.
Oh,
but
nice.
I think it was as far as you did, and I dropped it a long time ago. My background is in engineering, so I can relate to you.
So you're exactly like me. You're professional.
Yeah, exactly. However, I'm trying to picture you with a clown face on. I can't do it. You're a very serious guy.
There's pictures of me online. If you go onto my LinkedIn, there's pictures of me with a clown nose on somewhere.
Okay. You just fed the fire. Everybody that hears this is going to
go onto my LinkedIn and have a look through that.
Very cool. All right. So I guess I'm pretty confident that Theatre Deli, like that aspect of your background, because you get what they do.
Yeah, exactly. It resonated with them as well as it resonated with me. My experience was the right fit for them. What they were doing was the right fit for me, so we were perfect marriage made in heaven, to be honest.
All right. So, I want to draw this arc for people, right? I mean, you came out of university. You went into very serious. You were on the market, right? You're market of private equity.
Sorry, it was a custodian bank, State Street.
Ah, okay. You were in banking. Couldn't be even more serious.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. You impulsively quit your job during the pandemic of all times.
Yeah, exactly.
Went into the arts, came back. You picked up your career, I imagine, and now you are on the board of Theatre Deli.
Yeah.
That's quite an impressive journey, right? Many people, if you looked at any one of those points in your career and life, you might not necessarily connect them all to see the arc and where you are right now. So that's pretty cool, because a lot of people think that, hey, I'm such and such, or I'm just an accountant, I can't be on a board, or they're looking for something specific and I don't have it, or all I have to offer is my accounting. But you're bringing your whole self to this effort.
Exactly. Really cool. I think with boards, if you lead with authenticity, you can probably get any board seat. I honestly believe you could be at any level in your career, you can get a board seat. The modern day boards are hungry for different perspectives. That means a diverse group of people. So you can have older people, younger people, especially with the generation Z nowadays, Z as you guys call it. You've got this whole group of people who aren't represented in the senior management of companies, and they have a desire to understand this generation. So I think even someone out of Generation Z, an older Generation Z, can get board, at least express their opinion and guide potential boards in resonate with Generation Z. We've got a huge issue with not companies not connected with Generation Z. I think even a Generation Z person can get on a board because they've got an expertise, and their expertise in being the youth of today, the future.
Yeah, exactly. Well said. All right, so let's talk about some things that you've learned as a non-executive director, right? Governance has always intrigued you. Took you a while to get to it, but that's, you got to it, and that's great. What have you discovered so far that's different from what you expected?
So far, I've had one meeting so far, and the difference is I'm scrutinizing more than I am being scrutinized. So I'm used to being the executive, being scrutinized and taking questions and trying to find out solutions and all this kind of stuff, thinking on my feet. But now I'm sitting on the other side of the table, and I'm thinking, this doesn't sound right. Why has this happened and not this? So I'm always thinking, what's the missing piece here? Why have you spent so much time doing this without knowing the full facts of why you've done it? And I'm always looking at saving money and time value and all this kind of stuff, and trying to scrutinize the CEO and the senior management team. So in a way, it's a bit of a relief to not fill those questions, but also I'm learning a lot as well. As I get on with these board positions, I will learn more and more as time goes by, and hopefully that it develops me as a person as well as me contributing to the organization.
Yeah, I was going to say it must be a nice reversal of roles.
It definitely is. You say I prefer it on this side, to be honest.
So I mean, you've been in their seats, right? So you know how they think and what they must be feeling. Has that aided your line of questioning and insight and guidance at all?
Yes, I know exactly what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and I know exactly what's going through their mind when they're answering the questions. So it has stepping forward and empathizing with them has helped me understand my position as a board member and what I need to do and how I need to hold the senior management to account. But at the same time, also nurture them. There's elements of the CEO is not necessarily a finance person, so they might not fully understand the finances. It's up to me to come in and make suggestions on what we can do and how we can improve the finances in a much more streamlined and organized manner. So that it's also that nurturing element and balancing it with the scrutinization.
Nice. So, you mentioned a couple of things that I picked up on, and one was not very technical at all. It was empathy, right? You have to empathize with, the people that you're not only scrutinizing, but then guiding. And then has that smoothed relationships for you? Has it made things easier, or has there been times where things have gotten tense and you had to find a way to smooth things over, but it's still achieved the goal?
Well, so far I haven't had any tense moments as such.
Okay.
It's been quite. I've only had one meeting at Theatre. Well, not Theatre that settle stories so far. I've had one meeting, and so far it's gone perfectly fine. There's no clashes or anything like that. But empathizing with them also does help.
Yeah, that's right. You did say it was your first meeting, and I should hope that there weren't any tense moments in the first meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
otherwise, people might not want to go on this journey.
Exactly.
Okay. Are there any risks that first-time board members might want to be aware of?
I'd say that the biggest risk I think is making sure you find the right culture to fit into. When I talk about culture, for example, I wrote a little piece about Boeing. They had 2 air crashes, and the culture within the organization was purely focused on money and not on safety. That type of culture kind of breeds a lot of risks, and you have to come in and you have to assess those risks. If you've got a toxic culture where some things are focused on and other things are lacking, it could be your reputation at stake, because after all, you're a director and you're responsible legally for the organization. And in the US, you've got SOX and all these regulations that came in after the Enron scandal, and there were people being held to account, people being jailed for stuff that went on at Enron. So you have to be careful and assess the culture very carefully before you dive too deeply into an organization.
Yeah, you make some great points. It's not all fun and games. It's you're at the top of the company. You have very serious responsibilities and very serious repercussions if you aren't a good steward and abiding by the law. So those are good things to be aware of.
Yeah, exactly.
So keeping along those lines, right? If you mentioned that you like to work for serving a listed company one day, the stakes are even higher at that level.
Exactly.
What excites you about that?
I guess it's a different environment. So like I've said, I've spent a lot of time in startups. A listed company is a completely different environment. And I think it'll be an interesting challenge for me to go into that arena and see how I perform. There's going to be a lot of learning and a lot of development on my end. And I love to develop myself. I enjoy challenging myself and stepping outside my comfort zone. If I could get into a listed company and see how it operates from the inside and bring my skills, my unique skills to that organization, I think it'd be a win-win for them and for me.
Nice. And then what's the one value you hope to consistently bring into the boardroom?
But I didn't hear that.
What's the one value that you hope to consistently bring into
So I think honesty. I think we kind of, it's usually, I think it's very UK based. We don't say what we think sometimes. Kind of beat around the bush, and we kind of don't say exactly what we think, and then other people might be thinking the same thing, but nobody's saying it, and we're all sitting there thinking the exact same thing, and nobody says it, and then you say it, and everybody relaxes, and they realize that their question was valid and it made sense. And so I never assume anything. I act like I'm the idiot in the room, and I ask questions. So I just ask as many questions as I possibly can, even if it's simple things that I don't understand, I'll ask about it.
Yeah, honesty can't be underrated. And you touched on the culture thing again. You have to know the culture of not only the organization that you're serving in, but the country that they're representing, and be able to navigate those nuances. And it seems like you do that very adeptly. All right, very cool. All right, so now it's time for our quick fire round.
Nice.
Before we wrap up, I got a few quick fire questions for you. Just give me the first thing that comes to mind.
Sure.
What's one improv skill that's surprisingly useful in the boardroom?
Listening.
Listening. Very nice.
Listen beyond anybody else. Always listen.
Okay. And then if you had to describe governance as a character on stage, who would it be?
That's interesting. I think it was Superman. I think it's the structure, it's the Man of Steel, the structure behind an organization, but also that superhero that saves the organization from risky business.
Interesting. So when you first said it, I thought that was an interesting choice. But as you described the attributes of Superman and how it relates to an organization, especially at the non-executive director position, it made sense to me. So that was a good choice.
Great thinking. That's what it is.
Last one, dream board seat, any company, charity, or creative organization in the world.
I say Virgin.
That's a good one, especially over in the UK.
Yeah, Richard Branson is an icon over here. So.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for participating in the quick fire round. Imran, again, thank you for joining me on Candid Coffee and for sharing your journey so openly. I love the way that you've shown about combining your passion and creativity with professional experiences really resonates in the boardroom. For listeners who want to follow Imran's work, you can follow him on LinkedIn or his website at imranhussain.com. or on X at ihussain247. All right. And those things will be in the show notes, so you'll be easy to follow him there. Imran, the floor is yours. Any parting words?
If you think about a board seat, don't wait. Do it now. Doesn't matter what age you are, what type of experience you got. You bring that diversity and bring it now, today.
There it is.
Done.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being candid with me.
No problem. Thank you very much, Cam. I really appreciate it.
All right. Very cool. All right, we're done. How was that?
That was really good. It was really interesting. I've never done a podcast before, so it's my first one. So I was a bit nervous, but you made it really easy for me.
I'm glad to hear that. You did well. You know, you really shone through. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, you were a great guest.
Thank you very much, Cam. I really appreciate it. And, well, hopefully we could do something again sometime. I really enjoyed that, and you're a really good host, and I really felt the empathy there.
Cool. I look forward to getting to know you some more.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll speak to you soon.
All right.
Great day. Thank you, Cam.